Hi Year 7, today we're going to do some work on index laws. Hope you're well, having a lovely day and a lovely week. So do pause the video, make sure you've got a date and title, and then I'm going to go through these 3 examples which you should copy into your notes book if you have it, or copy it to wherever you're working if you don't. And then you're going to do some practice using the 3 rules from these 3 examples. So this first one we have is simplify 4 cubed times 4 squared. So what I'm not looking for here is just one number. Okay, what we're looking at today is the power laws. So I'm going to look for a final answer that is 4 to the power of something. I don't need to actually work out the number answer, as it were. So to look at this rule, what I want to do is think about what 4 cubed means. We've touched on these powers. We've seen these powers once or twice, but we've not really thought about what they mean a great deal. So 4 cubed means 4 times 4 times 4. And that's being multiplied here by 4 squared. I'm just going to make this one a little bit bigger to show that it's the one that matches with that one. Times 4 squared, which is 4 times 4. So all together, we've got 4 times 4 times 4, which is this bit, times 4 times 4, which is this bit, and all together we've got 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, which is 5 4's all being multiplied by each other, which is 4 to the power of 5. Now, can you notice anything about what happened to my powers in my original question and my powers in my answer? You might notice that 3 plus 2 is 5, and that's the rule. When you multiply two numbers with powers together, we add the powers to get the answer. And one way we can write this rule, and it's up to you how you want to write it in your notes book, but one way you can write this rule is if you have x to the a, because this works with the numbers and letters just the same. If you have x to the a times x to the b, that simplifies to x to the a plus b. It's just a fancy way of saying if I've got something to this power times the same thing to another power, the answer is that thing to those 2 powers added together. Right, here's another example then. Now, this time it's dividing. Now, when we were multiplying, we added those 2 powers together. So what do you think is going to happen when we're dividing? Have a think about that. You might know. Now, I'm going to write this as a fraction to give this example, because we know that fractions mean divide. So on the top of my fraction, I'm going to have x to the power 12. I'm going to do it quite small. X times x, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 over x to the power 3. And we know that we can simplify fractions by sort of cancelling them down, dividing the top and the bottom. So if I divide off an x on the top and the bottom, and another x on the top and the bottom, and another x on the top and the bottom, these ones have cancelled out. That'll just give me 1, and I've got x to the power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Give me x to the power of 9. So can you see what's happened? When we multiplied those powers, they added, and when we divide the powers, they've subtracted. So the rule we can write it as, if you have x to the power a divided by x to the power b, it becomes x to the power a minus b. So when they divide, you subtract those powers. Okay, one more rule we're going to look at today. We've got a sort of crazy sort of double power going on with this one. 11 to the power 4, and that's been raised to the power 5. So again, I have to think about what this means. If I've got anything to the power 5, it means I've got that thing times by itself, times by itself again, times by itself again, times by itself again. So this means I've got 11 to the power 4 times 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 11 to the power of 4. And think about that rule that I used over here. We know those powers add together. And I could write it all out here now, 11 times 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 11. But I don't need to do that because of this rule here. And we know that the powers add together. So it's going to be 11 to the power 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, or 11 to the power of 20. Have you noticed what's happened with the powers on this one? 11 to the power 4 to the power 5 is going to the power 20. The powers have multiplied. So we can write this one as if we've got x to the power a all to the power b, that becomes x to the power a times b, or you could just put ab. Okay, they are your 3 rules. You've got some questions on your sheet now that you need to practice on those 3 rules. This video, depending on how much you paused it, it's probably taken you up to about 12:20. So that gives you about 45 minutes till about 1:05 to work through that sheet with the answers on the bottom. Make sure you mark your answers as you go. Any questions, do let me know, but you're just following those 3 rules. Have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you later.